As the tawaf around the Kaaba continued, right after Fajr prayer, a voice echoed from the loudspeakers of the Haram. "O Muslims, the day of judgment has come. Imam Mahdi has appeared." At the same time, gunfire rang out from all directions. Over 100,000 Muslims were present inside Masjid al-Haram when suddenly 400 to 500 armed men launched an attack on the Kaaba. 2 security guards were shot dead instantly. After that, anyone who raised their voice was shot. Muslims in Iran were gripped by fear, and chaos spread across the entire mosque. The armed attackers halted the tawaf of the Kaaba and forced everyone to sit on the ground. This incident happened nearly 40 years ago. For the first time in modern history, the tawaf of the Kaaba had been stopped. Who were these people? What exactly happened that day? Why did they attack the Kaaba? How long did the siege last? Who freed the Kaaba from the rebels? This is what today's video is all about. Today we will tell you the full story of the attack that occurred on that day. Welcome to our channel. It began when Sheikh al-Subayl, the 55-year-old Imam of the Kaaba, stood in front of the Kaaba as usual. Behind him were rows of worshippers. He led the prayer just as he did on any other day. After the prayer, he turned toward the microphone and began the dua. At that moment, he saw some men approaching from the back rows, carrying a coffin on their shoulders. This wasn't anything unusual. Hajj had ended just 20 days earlier, and millions of pilgrims were still in Mecca. Whenever someone passed away, families would try to have the funeral prayer led by the Imam of the Kaaba. So Sheikh al-Subayl continued his dua. But the men approaching had red striped headscarves and kept coming closer. Leading them was a man with tangled hair, a messy beard and dirty clothes. He pushed the Imam aside, grabbed the microphone and shouted in loud Bedouin Arabic, "Excited brothers in Islam, Allahu Akbar, Imam Mahdi has appeared." At the same time, his companions pulled Kalashnikov rifles hidden inside the coffin. They raised their guns and chanted, "Mahdi has come, Mahdi has come." Their leader, a 33-year-old Saudi man named Juhayman al-Otaibi, stepped forward. He declared the arrival of Imam Mahdi. Then he brought out his own brother-in-law and, speaking calmly, said to everyone, "This is Muhammad bin Abdullah al-Qahtani. He is Imam Mahdi. You must pledge allegiance to him." Juhayman came from a well-known Bedouin tribe in Najd. He and his men closed the mosque's doors, took over 100,000 worshippers hostage, and seized control of the entire mosque. The tawaf of the Kaaba was completely stopped. For the first time in centuries, the Kaaba was closed to regular Muslims. The Saudi government immediately mobilized troops to respond, but due to the sanctity of the Kaaba and poor training, the troops were unable to act. Snipers from Juhayman's group had taken positions on the minarets. Any soldier or vehicle seen approaching was shot. A full-scale attack would have endangered the lives of thousands of hostages and also risked damaging the structure of the Kaaba. The Saudi government completely shut down the media to keep the incident a secret, but the news still got out. The entire world was now aware of what was happening in Makkah. Many foreign pilgrims had already died. The rebels now had complete control over Masjid al-Haram. Anyone who spoke was immediately shot. You might be wondering, how was such an attack even possible? The truth is, Juhayman had once served in the Saudi military. He knew all the routes and secret entrances. His father had ties with the royal family. Juhayman had also studied under the Grand Mufti of Saudi Arabia. He had been secretly plotting against the government for years and had even been jailed multiple times. This plan had been in the works for years. The weapons were smuggled inside coffins meant for funeral prayers. Everything was done so secretly that no one noticed. And so, on November 20th, these terrorists executed their plan and took over the Kaaba. The siege lasted almost 2 weeks. Their goal? To declare a fake Imam Mahdi, so Muslims around the world would support him. and pressure Saudi Arabia to recognize him. If successful, this would have ruined Saudi Arabia's economy, destroyed its credibility, and possibly triggered wars in other Muslim countries. This was a pre-planned conspiracy. The Saudi military began strategizing how to free the Kaaba, but they waited for a green signal from higher authorities. When the order came, Saudi troops launched a three-pronged attack, but due to the rebels' strong positions and discipline, the army suffered heavy losses and was pushed back. Then, they tried to land troops via helicopters, but the rebels shot them mid-air before they could even reach the roof. At this point, someone thought of the Bin Laden Group, a construction company working on the mosque's expansion. They had access to detailed architectural maps. Salim bin Laden, Osama bin Laden's older brother, played a key role by sharing information. It was then discovered that the mosque had a complex network of hallways, tunnels, basements, and corridors. A direct attack would be dangerous and could cause massive loss of life. Meanwhile, Juhayman and his group were still broadcasting speeches from the mosque's speakers. Their demands were: cut all ties with the West, overthrow the government, stop supplying oil to America, expel all foreigners from Saudi Arabia. On the fourth day, Saudi troops managed to drill holes in the mosque's walls and entered some areas. But thousands of hostages were still under the rebels' control. Some rebels were killed, but full control was not yet achieved. Qahtani, the man claimed to be Imam Mahdi, was shot in the head and killed. His body was recovered and his face was intact. This broke the morale of many rebels. They began to doubt. If Imam Mahdi is dead, who will now conquer the world? How will the rest of the prophecies come true? Juhayman tried to hide the news of Qahtani's death, but failed. The military commanders gathered again to find a solution. One plan was to flood the tunnels with water and then electrify them. Many people believed this plan was used, but in truth, it was never executed. There wasn't enough water in Makkah, and too many innocent pilgrims were still inside. Saudi intelligence chief Prince Turki al-Faisal said, even the Red Sea wouldn't be enough to flood the Kaaba. At last, Saudi authorities decided to seek external help. Although American CIA agents were training Saudi troops at the time, Saudi Arabia feared political backlash if the US intervened directly. Instead, they turned to France. The French intelligence chief Count Claude Alexander suggested using gas to knock out both rebels and hostages, allowing for an easier capture. 3 elite French GIGN commandos were secretly sent to Saudi Arabia, but due to Islamic law, they first had to convert to Islam. They recited the Shahada and then entered Makkah. They got to work immediately, but due to the open design of the mosque, the gas had limited effect. At the same time, Saudi troops began drilling again. Once the gas was released, masked soldiers started throwing grenades inside. Many rebels were killed. By now, the siege had lasted 14 days. The rebels were out of weapons, food, and strength. Their fake Mahdi was dead. On December 4th, the remaining rebels surrendered, including Juhayman al-Otaibi himself. When Prince Turki al-Faisal visited Juhayman in the hospital, Juhayman held his hand and said, Please ask King Khalid to forgive me. I won't do anything like this again." But it was too late. He and 62 of his companions were executed in public. After the 2-week siege, the Grand Mosque was finally freed. Many rebels were killed. Juhayman and his followers were executed for 6 major crimes: violating the sanctity of Masjid al-Haram, killing innocent Muslims, disobeying the government, stopping prayer in the mosque, falsely claiming Imam Mahdi, using innocent Muslims to serve their own goals. Dear viewers, we hope you found this story powerful and eye-opening. Keep watching our channel, and may Allah, the Lord of Glory, protect and guide you.